Something that change doesn't happen by accident, it happens by structure. In this video, we're going to talk about what transformation can do and how it helps you build systems that then support it. And you already know from the title, it's called The Four Transformational Structures for Change. Now, this is gotten in our planner for the year 2026. So if you haven't got checked out the planner, go check out the planner. This is one of the next phase. So after you've done the reflection, then you can go into the next phase, which is understanding what are the four structures for transformation. And I want to talk about this for because I think sometimes they are most times ignored, but when you actually put them together, you realize that four of them together aligned, you'll be able to change things in your life. And I mean real changes. I'm not talking about just just change or transform myself. No, I'm talking about real change, creating real change for your life in using this four transformative structure. So the first one is purpose. Now we understand that purpose answers why you exist and what you were called to do. Now, even everybody, everybody was created to do something. We are all gifted with a certain gifts and wisdom to be able to achieve a life that God really wants us to live, right? So, um, you must ask yourself, if I really want to change my life and I really want real change, first things first is first, what's my purpose? That is where you clarify your calling. What are you called to do? What do you think? What's one thing that you know you're really good at? That you know that if when you in your sleep, if someone asks you about it, you can list 6 million things about it, right? So focus, ask yourself this thing in aspect to your purpose and then who you are and who God has created you to be. The next thing you have to do is define your assignment. Now, sometimes, actually, many times, some people they mix their job with their assignment. And I'll explain. There is something as doing a job and it pays your bills, but it's something as doing what you were created to do. That brings fulfillment, job brings paycheck. Even that fulfillment brings paycheck, but it takes time to build, right? So most times people study a certain course because they're passionate about it, but purpose is not passion. I want to give a very thin line between these two because sometimes people say, "Oh, follow your passion." Ah, passion is not bad, right? Passion is not bad, but I advise you to follow your purpose, not passion. Why do I say that? Because passion is is a desire, but desires are very shaky. Desires are not stable. You can desire something today and then desire not something else tomorrow. Purpose is what you were created to do. For example, a car. A car can desire to be on the water, but a car can be so passionate about water, but it's created to be on the road. So a person can decide to put a boat to, you know, with the car. But to be honest with you, it will not be as effective as a natural boat because a car was never meant to be on water. It was meant to be on the road, right? So it can desire something. You can be passionate about something, but does not mean it's your purpose. So passion is alone is not how you need a purpose. How you need a purpose is by you analyzing yourself and saying, what am I clear on my clarity on my calling? What am I supposed to do with my life? And then defining your assignment of what you're supposed to do, right? I'm meant to do this, I'm meant to do that. Okay, how can I ensure that my life reflects that? Just like how a car is created to drive on the road, so you are created to fulfill purpose that you were sent here to fulfill. So you need to discover your purpose. We have something called the Purpose University Questionnaire, and that helps you a little bit in understanding a bit about who you are and discovering purpose. Now, it's not eventually uh, gonna give you all the answers, but there are questions that can help you ask the right question to discover purpose. And then the third thing you can do is align your approach to purpose-driven living, meaning that when you have discovered your purpose, you've clarified your calling, you've defined your assignment, the next thing that you have to do is align your purpose to align to the purpose-driven living, meaning that everything that you do has to be in alignment with the purpose you are meant to fulfill. So this will help you understand yourself better, because identity is one of the most important thing in changing who you are, or in real change. So if you really truly want to transform your life and you want to create a change, you have to discover the purpose of it. Why was that thing created, and what was it existed? Why is it existing? What was it called to do? That's how you know. And that's why a manufacturer will know what the manufactured product is meant to do. Why? Because it created that manufactured product to fulfill a task or to solve a problem. The manufacturer of Tesla created Tesla cars to solve a problem. And for you to truly know your purpose, you need to ask God. That's one of the most important person in discovering purpose, because he created you. So he knows. He's your manufacturer. You're his manufactured product. He knows you better than you know yourself. So it's very important that before you even can create a change, you must first find out the purpose of that thing. Even if it doesn't even involve you, maybe you were trying to change a class, or you're trying to change a certain thing. What is the purpose of that? So when you discover the purpose, because Dr. Miles Maroon always says, where purpose is not known, abuse is inevitable. Meaning you can abuse things because you don't know the reason why that thing was created. So it's very good for you to know purpose for something so that you can actually create change. The next question you can ask yourself is, write one sentence purpose statement for the year. What is one reason of why I'm gonna do, or no, not what is one reason. What is one thing that I know I was created to do in this year 2026? So write down one purpose statement for the year. The next pillar and structure is strategy. Now, purpose without strategy stays abstract. It does not move. You can know a purpose for a thing, but if you don't have a strategy for it, that purpose will never be fulfilled. So this is where you now ask yourself, how can I break purpose into goals? My purpose is to help people become better versions of themselves. That's my purpose. Hence, the Purpose University. Become better versions of themselves and live life in fulfillment of what we're created to fulfill. So, that is a very big, broad, vague purpose. But it's my purpose. That's what I was called to do, help people. But I can't do that if I do not know what to do with that. So what do I then do? I ask myself, which people am I called to help? And then now I break that purpose into goals. Okay, if my purpose is to help people, what people? With what? I choose a specific market, books, and I said, okay, my purpose is for you to use that to share your story, and then transform that story into generational wealth. Those are 3 goals. You see? And that even gets me to talk about our new thing coming up called the Ultimate 3. It is derived from the BDA framework. The BDA framework is a framework that helps you know what you need to do before, during, and after in executing the life that you wanted to live. Now, the before is what you need to do to become an author, the things that you need to do, the mindset you need to take, the lifestyle. During is when you become the author, and after is what you can do with being an author, meaning converting that book into multiple streams of income. Now, we have something coming up, the Ultimate 3, which involves SD, the ideal you, that's self-development, the ideal you that's working on yourself to become an author. Then we have the bookmaker course, which will help you then become that author. That's writing your book. And then we have business, book to business converter, which will help you then convert that book into a business model, which will then help you, create more money and build more wealth. So this is something we have coming up in January, the end of January. I hope you guys are excited. We're gonna leave the wait list very soon. We're gonna launch it very soon, but I want you to anticipate towards it. So that's what I just broke down, right? Where I said that I can find and create it into goals. And then I created a roadmap, which is what I call the BDA framework. The BDA framework was my roadmap. So you have to create a roadmap. A roadmap is a map that helps you clarify the paths that you need to do, or clarify the paths to getting that achieved goal that you need. So when I have that roadmap, then I can define measurable steps. So what are the next things I need to do? Okay, maybe I have to do this first, and then I have to do this first, and then I have to do this first, right? So you need strategy to achieve the goals that you set. So these are defined strategies and steps that you need to accomplish it. And remember that strategies should be simple, it should be clear, it should be executable, it should be easy. Don't do something that you know you can't do. And that's why I always say, always make sure that your goals are smart, specific, measurable, attainable, sorry, realistic, and time based. So ensure that those goals that you set make sense and are not just doing that because you just want to set big goals. The next structure is systems. Now, systems sustain what motivation cannot. I always say you can have access to something, but if you don't have systems, you will not be able to maintain it. So system helps you manage what you have been given. So now that you know purpose, you know the strategies, you need to create a system on how you can execute it, right? So first thing you can focus on is your daily routines. What are the things that I'm doing in my daily routines that help me achieve my purpose, right? The second thing are weekly check-ins. Ask yourself a question, check in with yourself every week and say, well, did I do this? Did I not do this? So create systems that will help you execute those goals. Then monthly reviews. Review your month. Please review your month. Don't just go out there assuming, right, that you got things figured out. No, you don't. Review it. See, okay, what did I do this month? Did I achieve everything I wanted in the month? If I didn't, do I have to carry over to the next month? It's good to review your month. It's because consistency is not emotional, it is engineered. If you really want to be consistent in doing what you need to do to achieve the life that you always wanted to live, then you need to create systems to help you sustain, not emotions that fluctuates, right? So the third structure to help you change and for rechange systems. Not only do you know the purpose of a thing, you also have to have a strategy to ensure that that purpose is experienced. Then you need systems to help you execute it. And the fourth structure is execution. One of the things that people struggle with is action. They think, strategize too much, but they never execute. So if you really want change, not only do you know the purpose, not only should you have a strategy, not only should you have a system, you should also execute it. Because execution is where transformation becomes visible. People can never know anything that I have if I never had Purpose University. The reason why you know Purpose University is because I actually executed. You're watching this video right now is an execution. I had a thought and an idea to talk about transformation, and the purpose of it was to help people be transformed and have real change. But then that's not enough. So what did I do? I strategized by writing down a few points on how on what to talk about. And then when I strategized what to talk about, I created a system whereby I had to figure out how I'm going to get this information out. Maybe I have to talk about it in the first week, maybe second week. And what's the last thing I executed? I got my camera and I recorded myself. And now you can watch the video. So if you want any change, you have to make sure that these four structures are aligned. So what do? Action beats intention. You can intend to do something, but action always beats it. Progress beats perfection. One of the issues people have is that they want it to be so perfect that they never do anything. It's better to move slowly than not move at all. So if I can just say, well, I don't have a good camera, I don't have the best camera, so why record? No, I pick up my phone and I record. At least I have a video recorded. That's something, right? And momentum beats motivation. Move. Small, consistent steps amount and they accumulate over time. Motivation cannot give you results because motivation is not stable. You have to be focused, you have to be determined, and you have to have self respect plus discipline. I always say whoever has lack of self discipline has lack of self respect. If you cannot be disciplined with yourself, you do not respect yourself enough. And if you can't respect yourself, then why do you expect people to respect you? So do what you said you were going to do. Show up. It doesn't have to be perfect, but even move if it's just a little bit. Just do something, instead of being motivated to do it. So I want you, my tip for you is to focus on daily execution or not overwhelming goals. Try to, do things that are attainable, right? Don't just set these big goals that you can never achieve. So those are ways that you can do create structures to help you transform and create real change. So make sure that when you align the four structures together, like I just explained, when purpose, strategy, systems, and execution align, change becomes inevitable, right? Like I said. So what you can do is that if you want new results, you have to build new structures. So create structures to help you create that change. And I hope that this video was helpful, and I'll see you guys later for more tips. Bye.